In today's show, seeds of success, the move that's paying dividends.
Seedsman well and truly within range to kick the door back open.
And what happens when players press pause on a tough year. Hi, I'm Mark Bickley and welcome to the Optus Crows Show as we fly as one in 2021. But first, when Ben Keays was taken by Adelaide in the 2019 rookie draft, very few Crows supporters would have heard of him. Now, he's an automatic selection each week. Starved of opportunities in the Brisbane Lions midfield, Ben played just 30 games in 4 years. In his first year with the Crows, he finished 5th in the Club Champion Award, and his form this season is even better.
Jordan just slightly lost his footing, but not his composure. Lando a handball, they're inside. Berry to Keays, must, does! And it's a great story too, isn't he, Ben Keays, about getting a second opportunity.
It was a bit different for me, obviously. Didn't know anyone, and it was a bit weird having come from Brisbane and lived there my whole life. So I wanted to, make some friendships and just find enjoyment in my footy, which I've done so far. Put a lot of work in. As I said before, I think everyone's improved as well, which has helped me. We're very solid now in sort of what we want and how we want to play, and I guess that's shining through a bit. I guess I can put it down to the whole group sort of improving, and long way to go, but so far so good. There's a lot of talented guys, but more importantly, there's a lot of guys that actually want to really work hard and put time into their game. So that makes it easy to work with guys like that. You know they're putting a lot in and want to get better. They've been great for the group, and it's just sort of I guess a new role for me to sort of try and help guide some of the guys and use a bit of leadership, which is a bit new to me. So I've enjoyed that so far. We've got some good leaders around that I can learn off and work pretty closely with some in the midfield. Guys like Sloaney and Lairdy, they're fantastic. The expectations in different areas have got a bit more on myself, but that just keeps driving me to get better and improve my all-round game.
Last year, Ben's exceptional work ethic won him the Players' Trademark Award, voted on by his peers and coaches. Now, there's no doubt he and his teammates are looking forward to next week's bye. The opportunity to take a 4-day break and, with modified training, recharge for the final half of the season. So, what does next week look like?
And there's a little bit more ridiculous.
Bye week's obviously a really important time. It comes in for us after this weekend, and it's a really important chance for the guys to have a mental spell and physically recharge for the back end of the year. Obviously this year, coming off the shorter games and the shorter season last year, we've definitely found the guys have pulled up a little bit sorer after some of the longer games. So the bye will be a case of the guys having a bit of time off, but making sure that there's still some regularity in what they're doing. We don't want them to completely stop doing everything, and so they'll have a little program in place to complete over their 4 or 5 days off.
It's deep to the square, the wrestle's on, good for marks, and it's all go! Good thing!
We've hit the halfway mark of the year, and we're really happy with where the group's at. Obviously, we've got a couple of guys in rehab, which everyone will do at this time of year, but we think the guys on the track are performing really well and are really reaping the rewards of a really strong off-season and pre-season. This group is really good at wanting to do more and always trying to find that little edge. So it really fills us with confidence when they're coming and saying, hey, can I do a little running block at the end? Or, hey, I'd love to get another gym session in. And that's led by some of our guys. Some of our young guys are the best. So Lockie Scholl, Will Hamill, James Rowe, they're always asking for that little bit more, and it really hopefully shows on their performance on game day.
Certainly a good time for a break. COVID has brought only added pressure over the past 2 or 3 weeks. Stay with us. Coming up next, Graham Cornes makes a nostalgic return to Football Park. Welcome back. The emergence of the next generation of Crows players means Brodie Smith has the job of helping us get to know them a little more. This week, with the support of Thomas Farms, it's the turn of Will Hamill to face our roving reporter.
This week we're joined by Will Hamill. Will,
how are you, Smithers?
Give us a background of your junior footy coming into the club. How did you get drafted?
So I played junior football for Balnarring up until under 16s. Then played my first interleague when I was under 16s, and then lucky enough to make the Dandenong Stingrays pathway program. Played there for 2 years. My top AG won the first flag there, which was pretty nice. And then lucky enough to go to the Crows.
And a midi, or were you a halfback coming through?
Always halfbacker. Yeah, always halfbacker.
Well, who did look after you when you first got to the club?
First got there, Ben Davis was good, lived with him. Darcy Fogarty, Richie Douglas was good. Some of those boys.
And you've moved out of the hosties now, you're with Butsy and Sholey.
Yep, it's great. We sort of kind of bounce off each other. Great vibes in the house.
So I've heard that someone came over to your house, I won't name who, a player, and yourself, Butsy and Sholey were in your own bedrooms playing video games against each other online. And 3 individual Uber Eats orders arrived at the door while this guy was in your house.
I know who this is.
True or false?
That may be true, yes. We're locking into Butsy's stream, Slizzard Wizard. Everyone tune into that. Make sure you get into that. But that's what we're doing.
So not much going on off field, just
there's a little bit going on.
Study?
Study, kinda, not really. Getting to surfing. For this 4-day break, we're getting over to the York Peninsula. A few of the boys, should be good fun.
Oh, nice. But, Must have missed that invite, but
it's all right, mate. On the don't worry about it.
All right, thanks for joining us, mate.
Been a pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Now, each week this season, we're reliving a memorable Crows comeback. And this one didn't quite result in a win, but it didn't mean a loss either. Round 14, 1994 was against St Kilda at Waverley. The Saints led by 3 goals at half-time and nearly 5 goals at three-quarter time. But the Crows surged in the final term, keeping the Saints scoreless.
Right on the line. Oh, McGuinness.
Modra, Rashudo and Wiedemann each finished with 2 goals. In the end, though, it wasn't quite enough. The club's first ever draw.
When you work for a couple of hours and work pretty hard too, and it just ends up like that, you might as well not even play. So it's a bit frustrating. Graham Corns' football career spanned 32 years. After well over 300 games as a player, he turned to coaching, taking Glenelg to 5 grand finals and 2 premierships. But then came his biggest challenge. Thanks to Optus, Sam Jacobs talks to Graham about the moment he said yes to taking charge of the Crows.
Hello Crows fans, I'm here with inaugural coach and life member Graham Corns. Cornsy, your moment started with yes when you accepted the coaching job at the Crows. How was it coming from the SANFL and transitioning to a new club?
Well, it was really exciting, to be quite frank. I mean, there was the uncertainty of it. We'd had all the drama of 1990, whether Port Adelaide were going to go in or whether the SANFL would be able to put a team in, and so then I had to go through a selection process, had to apply for the job and had to sit through a couple of interviews and then be told I was, given the job. But then we had to get a squad together, which we could only take South Australians, and we had to pick the best of we could only pick 10 of the players that had already been drafted. So the guys worked really, really hard, harder than they'd ever worked before. So I always take my hat off to those inaugural guys.
Following up to that, how did you manage, I guess, because these guys had previously just been rivals and I guess they'd been thrown together to create a team for South Australia. How was it managing, I guess, all the egos and all the, the challenges that come with that?
The egos weren't a problem, but it was really difficult getting them to gel as a team because they kept in their little cliques. And, and we had a couple of individuals stood apart from the rest. Look, they tried hard to gel as a team, but it did take a long time, and it took many years, to be quite frank, as much as we did try and get them to unite. So that was probably the most difficult part of the whole thing.
What is your proudest memory? Obviously, you had so many good ones here, and building from the ground up. What's your proudest memory of your time here at the Crows?
Oh, look, probably the proudest memory came after I left the Crows, seeing Mark Rashudo be presented with the Brownlow medal.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, because he was a young boy when he started, and to see how he developed into a great player. But look, the first game we played, we smashed Hawthorn. It was just a fantastic night. The first final we played in Melbourne, we beat Hawthorn again, and then so that was a big moment. But to see from where the club started to where they are now, and where they will be when eventually new facilities are established, there's a certain amount of pride in that.
Thanks very much for joining me, Cornsey. Thanks for sharing the moment at the start of the Yes.
Thanks, Sam. Have you grown? Have I shrunk?
I'll always be grateful to Graham for giving me the opportunity to play AFL football. Okay, we all know that when a club is rebuilding, experienced players have to step up. Paul Seedsman has certainly done that, and we'll hear from him shortly. Paul Seedsman is arguably in career best form. Helping to cover the loss of Matt Crouch, he's played mainly in the midfield, where he's been a ball magnet in all 12 games this year, particularly against Melbourne.
Laird's got it, sweeps it out. Seedsman well and truly within range to kick the door back open.
Yeah, it's been a positive year. We've played some really good football as a team, and on the back of that, I've been able to contribute, which has been pleasing.
There's Laird, Seedsman, wobbler on his left, and Kent's got that millimetres from the deck.
To date, 11 games. To play in all of them has been great. A couple of games we would have liked to have finished off a bit better and won a couple.
Off to Seedsman. Now they really will erupt.
But, I think as a team and individually, we've both progressed from last year.
To Seedsman, it's the right man for it.
It's been a fun part this year, sort of being an older bloke around there, taking a bit more control and helping with that organisation. So it's something that I've enjoyed.
Over the top and Schomburg.
It's been great to play with them in terms of leadership and communication, organisation around stoppage. A bit more of that is rested upon Keays, Lairdy, myself, and obviously when Sloaney's there, Sloaney as well.
Oh, Sloan was magnificent with his pressure.
It's another way to stay connected with your group and stay connected to the game. If you're not having the impact without the footy, you can still help. And the younger boys that we've got running through there, they're always listening, always willing to do what's needed, which is really helpful.
To Seedsman, who spun into trouble. Does it sit here for Shoal? He's in the pocket, he dribbles it through.
And you also see where the young blokes are coming, and you see the progression in their game. You just play a little role in that, but it's rewarding.
And that's through for a goal as well.
As a team, we're seeing the benefits and the reward from last year. Some of these blokes have kicked on, and I look forward to those blokes taking the game to another level as well.
Seeds has chalked up 73 games for the Crows in 6 seasons. Now, last week the club released a brand new podcast, the History Locker Hall of Fame. It features past Crows inductees ahead of this year's second Hall of Fame event. The likes of Mark Rasciuto and Malcolm Blight tell stories that have never been heard before, so make sure you head to afc.com.au to listen to the full episodes. Toyota wants to make the footy experience better for you, and they're looking for your ideas to pop into the Toyota Good for Footy suggestion box. They'll take the best suggestions and make them happen. Last week we asked Crows fans at Adelaide Oval for their ideas. It's just another way that Toyota is good for footy, helping clubs raise over $7 million since 2008.
My suggestion for the Toyota Footy suggestion box would be more fan involvement. Getting the fans involved more with the quarter time games, like the kicking the footy and other things like that.
My suggestion is for more footy players to go out to the schools and things like that, and also for children to, especially the Aboriginal children, to have more support and more money given to them so they can really develop.
My suggestion for the Toyota suggestion box would be cheaper beer. All the food, just bring it down a bit, make the fans more happy to buy while they're here. They'll sell more, it'd be good.
My suggestion would be for more of the players to go out to the community games for the young ones out in the community. That would be really good for them.
It's easy to make a suggestion. Simply go online to toyota.com.au/gooder. Still to come, another curly question for the coach and the reason why one fan will never forget this game.
He's going to kick 5. He has.
The Crows have been playing at Adelaide Oval now for 8 years, and in that time they've provided fans with lifelong memories. The outstanding highlight for many is the 2017 preliminary final against the Cats. Thanks to Bendigo Bank, Yvonne becomes quite emotional as she recalls Adelaide's performance that night.
My name's Yvonne Marshall and I've been a Crows member well over 22 years. It's 22 years officially. We were very keyed up after the GWS win in 2017.
Right now, they're the favourites for the flag.
By some fluke of the computer, we actually got front row seats for the prelim final against Geelong. You could feel the excitement in the air when you went into the Oval. We'd never sat down the front row before. It was such an experience to be so close and hear the clash of bodies and just see how fast the guys ran.
May well be a goal!
And it was such a beautiful game.
He's kicked the goal from about 70. Stewart in front, off hands, Ridge, little bender, and a roll at the finish.
Their ball movement was fantastic. I can remember saying to my husband, "Oh, this is poetry in motion."
Bents the little handball, umpire almost got in the way. Jenkins finishes with it and he's got 3.
There's a young girl sitting next to my husband and she hugged him every time we got a goal, so he really enjoyed that and I was laughing my head off.
In Walker's direction,
As we got into the fourth quarter, we knew that we were going to get into a grand final.
Ball coming loose, Jenkins kicks the goal. Jenkins mops it up.
And you could feel the charge of excitement right through. So by the time the siren went, we were all euphoric. Not just us, everybody jumped up and sang the song and it was a great night. There's been lots of wonderful memories down here. You know, you get very attached to the club, emotionally attached to various players and yes, we've just loved it.
Okay, let's stay with the fans and look for our crow in the crowd. Why don't we settle on you? If you recognise yourself, email facingthecrowd@afc.com.au with photo ID to claim your prize. And you've got to be happy with 2 tickets to Toyota's exclusive Hilux Hill Unbreakable Zone at Adelaide Oval. Terms and conditions apply, so check out our website for details. And through this show, fans are able to ask a question of Matthew Nicks each week. Today, Lee wants to know how the coach gets the players to buy into his game style and how he keeps them believing they're on the path to success.
Lee, thanks for your question. Look, as far as buying into the game style goes, we do a lot of work around what we believe is the right game style. We speak to our players. We definitely engage them in the process of setting up our game plan. We like to set up and play to our strengths. So when we talk to the individuals, we understand those, what they do well, and we try to cater to that. This year we've We've really focused on our contest and our ability to compete as a team. We've drafted a lot of players, especially this last 12 months, where their natural game and the weapon they bring is the fact that they enjoy competing. It's going to be something that we continue to work on going forward. But if you're looking for buy-in from a group, it's about engaging them in the process of setting up that game plan.
That's about all we have time for on the Optus Crows Show. Remember to keep an eye on @TheCrows on Twitter for all the latest news, and check out the club's social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for your company today. We'll take a break as well for the bye and be back with you again in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.